All right, today we are going on a journey to the coast of Gujarat to explore the absolutely incredible story of a temple that has just refused to be erased by time or destruction. We're talking about Somnath, the Shrine Eternal. Its story is this amazing mix of myth, resilience, and rebirth, and it all starts with a pretty deep question. What if a building had a soul? I mean, really think about that for a second. A soul that could remember being born not just once, but over and over again. A soul that has weathered every storm imaginable, from both nature and humanity. Well, the story of Somnath, that's the story of just such a soul. So where does a soul like that even begin? Well, for this shrine, it was forged in pure legend. To really get Somnath, you have to start with its mythical origins. These incredible layers of divine history that take us from celestial gold all the way to the enduring stone we see today. Okay, so get this. Ancient scriptures tell this remarkable story of its creation. Legend says the very first temple was built of pure gold by Soma, the moon god himself. Then it was reborn in silver by Ravana, then in wood by Lord Krishna, and finally in stone by King Bhimdev I back in the 11th century. Each one of these layers just adds to its sacred legacy. Now, at the very heart of all this sacredness is the fact that Somnath is revered as the very first of the 12 Jyotirlingas in India. And a Jyotirlinga, you see, isn't just a statue. It's this profound idea, a representation of Lord Shiva as an infinite, eternal pillar of light. This status makes Somnath absolutely foundational to the faith. But you know, that kind of sacredness, that kind of importance, it also made it a target. And this brings us to the most dramatic part of its story, its trial by fire. This is a history defined by a relentless, almost unbelievable cycle of destruction and defiant rebirth. This timeline here, it shows a brutal, but ultimately a really hopeful cycle. It all starts in 1025 CE, when Mahmud of Ghazna's invasion led to the first major destruction. For centuries after that, it just faced attack after attack. But the pattern is undeniable. After every single fall, it rose again, leading to its triumphant rebirth in 1951, right after India's independence. 7. Just let that number sink in. That's the number that really defines its spirit. The temple was destroyed and then rebuilt approximately 7 times. And this incredible resilience is exactly why it earned its name, the Shrine Eternal. It just refused to be erased. And it's that unconquerable spirit that carried the temple right into the modern era. The Somnath that you and I can see today is this magnificent testament to its past, completely reborn in the 20th century. You can almost draw a straight line from its past to its present. Centuries ago, travelers like Al-Biruni wrote about a temple of immense wealth and this magnetic spiritual power. Well, today, that grandeur totally lives on, just reimagined in the traditional Chalukyan architectural style, a vision that was championed by leaders like Sardar Patel and Kam Munshi after independence. And the modern temple, it is an absolute architectural marvel. At its very heart, you have the Garbhagriha. That's the inner sanctum that houses the sacred Jyotirlinga. Then there's the Sabha Mandap, this grand hall filled with the most intricate carvings, and the Shukra, a spire that towers almost 50 meters into the sky. But there's one feature that is particularly fascinating. And that's the Balian stomp, or the arrow pillar. This thing stands right on the seawall, and it points directly south. And an inscription on it makes this stunning claim. There is no piece of land in a straight line between this exact point on the Indian coast and the continent of Antarctica. It's a mind-bending piece of ancient geographical awareness. So this brings us to a really crucial part of Somnath's story, its location. I mean, this isn't just some random spot on the coast. Its geography, right where the land meets the sea, is absolutely fundamental to its identity and, as it turns out, its destiny. Just try to picture it, perched right there on the dramatic coast of the Arabian Sea. It's a place where the sky and the waters seem to just merge into one on this vast, open horizon. Now, this location was a total double-edged sword. On one hand, symbolically, the vast, unending sea was the perfect representation of Lord Shiva as a god beyond all boundaries. And practically, its coastal access made it a huge center for trade and pilgrimage, which brought in immense wealth. But that same openness also made it incredibly vulnerable to invaders coming by sea, which directly shaped its turbulent history.
So, after all of this, the myths, the destruction, the renewal, what's the big takeaway? Why does Somnath endure, not just as a building, but as a powerful idea?
When you boil it all down, Somnath is so much more than a place of worship. It's a living chronicle, a story written in stone that tells a much larger tale about the resilience of faith, of a people, of a civilization. Its walls have risen again and again, just like the very tides that crash against its foundations. The message that Somnath sends out is simple, but it is so profound. What is eternal can never truly be destroyed. It can be challenged, it can be broken down, sure, but its spirit will always find a way to survive. And that really leaves us with a final thought to mull over. The whole story of Somnath is about the fight to preserve a symbol. So it kind of asks us, doesn't it? What symbols in our own world, maybe in our own lives, deserve to be eternal? What are we willing to rebuild again and again?